Hey everyone, I'm Doug Kolmar, and I'm happy to be here on the Songbird Showcase. Big thanks to Tim for putting together this forum for songwriters to talk about their craft, and for inviting me to be part of it. Appreciate that. I'm coming to you from a little south of Portland, Maine. I've been in Maine for about 20 years. I'm originally from New York, from Long Island, and my town was a little different from what you might think of as sort of the strip mall New York suburbs. It was a Victorian village that was a mile square, and my mother's family had been in that town for 3 or 4 generations. And it attracted a lot of artists and hippie types, so it was kind of a cool spot to grow up. But really happy to be in Maine now, for sure. Um, I've been playing music for over 50 years in various forms, and songwriting had been part of it off and on through that time. But I also um, concentrated on guitar and wrote instrumental music. Went to music school. Um, did sort of improvisation stuff. So a lot of different ways of making music over time. But in the past 20 years or so, I've really been concentrating on songwriting, and being a singer-songwriter. Um, and that kind of aligns with my move to Maine. And so I guess I'm more of a Maine songwriter than a New York songwriter, if that means anything. I don't know if it does. Um, and in the past 10 years or so, I've really been maybe more concentrated on my lyrics and getting some support and investigating writer's craft, looking at books by Stephen King and some other writers about the craft, and using some of the tools that come out of that. Keeping a notebook, doing some journaling, and doing some object writing and other kinds of sense-based writing, to kind of generate more imagery and get more specific about language. That's become more important to me in my songwriting. And one thing has been really the way that I really get started on a song is to have an image, or a phrase that helps to crystallize the thought around a song and get me started with it. And a lot of the time I write about things that I have been just thinking around, been rolling around in my brain for a while, but don't really know how to talk about. So until I get that kernel that I can build around, often the song doesn't really develop. And those sometimes just come from observing something, but also some of these exercises are where you might take an adjective and a noun, or a verb and a noun, and bang them together and see how they combine into new words. Sometimes that's a really helpful way for me to. There's actually something called a kenning exercise, where you do that and then you try to create a definition for the new word that you've created. So sometimes I find that a good way of generating thoughts that get me out of where I'm stuck, and with old language and ways I'm used to talking about things. An observation that generated a song for me recently was when I was helping my sister clean out my mom's house, the family home that we grew up in. And obviously that's an emotional experience and something that you might want to process by writing a song, but I wasn't really sure how to write about it. But I had noticed that the cardboard boxes that we were putting together to pack things in. They were constructed with these cells of paper that were very similar to a honeycomb, and so that became a kind of central image and metaphor for me to help get the song started and to build the song around. The song I'm going to play for you today is called Black Cloud, and that grew out of conversations I was having with friends who have teenage kids, and other reporting I'd been reading about or hearing about in the news about the impacts of the pandemic on mental health for particularly teens, but all kids. And so, and combined with that, the fact that everything during the pandemic is mediated through technology and through devices, and some of the discussion about blue light impacting sleep patterns and health, etc. So this image of kids sort of disappearing and fading into blue light of their devices was an image that kind of got the song underway, and kind of following that through, the sort of pairing of black and blue is a fairly common one around like bruises, etc. And that suggested the idea of black cloud, and just feeling like this generation has a lot of challenges, the pandemic obviously, but global warming and various the divisions in society, etc. And that parents don't seem to have a lot of really good answers for them, and I don't know whether parents necessarily felt more certain about things in the past, but I feel like they at least pretended they did. So that's kind of what this song is about. Pull up your socks, kid. Don't get her pregnant. That's the kind of sage advice my father'd give. I'm thankful for the women who taught me to be a man. I hope I was more helpful to my kids, but nothing could prepare them for this mess we're seeing now. Fading in the blue light under a black cloud, under a black cloud. Every generation gains and loses information, keeping only what they think is true. The wisdom of the ages falls behind with all the changes. We're all left just staring at our shoes, but nothing could prepare us for this mess we're seeing now. Fading in the blue light under a black cloud. Bruises on the inside only speak to you. People say a kid just being a kid. There They're on Mom's list of worries, but only one of many. Maybe best to keep those feelings hid, for she could not prepare you for this mess we're seeing now. Fading in the blue light under a black cloud, under a black cloud. And that song's going to be on a new record that I'm just finishing up now. The record will be called So Said Life. And official release will be in April. We're doing an album release party and concert at Cadenza in Freeport on April 30th. So I hope you keep that in mind. So I'd play as a solo performer, but I also play with a band called Arcadia Band. Hopefully we'll be recording with the band sometime this summer, and that's with another singer-songwriter, Janice O'Rourke, who you probably know from a previous Songbird, and Bill Holden plays dobro, and my son Colin Kolmar plays percussion in the band. So and we're out and about playing as much as we can, and hopefully things will open up during the warmer months, and we'll be able to get out and play some more. So I hope you look for those. Our band Instagram is Arcadia Band ME, so shows will be posted there as well as on my website for both band shows and solo shows, which is DougKolmarmusic.com. So I hope you'll check that out as well. But it's been great being part of the Songbird Showcase, and I look forward to seeing you out there. Thanks.